I have said, ye are gods, and all of you are children of the Most High.
But in the kingdom, we're going to have that power like the angels, but we're going to be what you call extraterrestrial. In other words, we're not going to be regular terrestrial like we are right now. Because what happened is, in the ancient world, we had that power. We had that power when we were on a level like gods. But what happened is, the Most High took that power from us. Over the generations and over the years, the Lord took that power from us. But we're going to get that back. We're going to get that power back coming into the kingdom.
I have said, ye are gods, and all of you are children of the Most High. I am Alpha and Omega, the beginning and the ending, saith the Lord. But as it is written, eye hath not seen, nor ear heard, neither hath entered into the heart of man the things which God hath prepared for them that love him. But God hath revealed them unto us by his Spirit.
When we think about the kingdom, most brothers think of like the small, minute terms. But the vastness of the kingdom, the greatness of the kingdom, dealing with the knowledge, wisdom, understanding, and the information alone that we're going to receive when we get to the kingdom, that's on a whole nother level. Never mind the riches and the lands and the women and the children, and to be in your chariot, sipping some yayan, on your chalice, your gold chalice with all them rubies and emeralds and sapphires and the different precious stones, going to places.
But as it is written, eye hath not seen, nor ear heard, neither hath entered into the heart of man the things which God hath prepared for them that love him. But God hath revealed them unto us by his Spirit.
No one, no matter how vivid a brother's imagination is, there's nothing in comparison to what's coming. You can't even imagine. You can't even paint it a picture or write it into words or give an explanation that even comes close to the majesty that's coming. We are destined for greatness in the new righteous kingdom.
But as it is written, eye hath not seen, nor ear heard, neither hath entered into the heart of man the things which God hath prepared for them that love him. But God hath revealed them unto us by his Spirit.
The brother with the most vivid imagination out there can't imagine what the kingdom of heaven has in store, what it's going to be like. What we're basing the kingdom of heaven as far as riches and having a good time and things of that nature is just based off of our experiences in this world and what we think having a good time is and living the life is. Thou wilt show me the path of life. In thy presence is fullness of joy. At thy right hand there are pleasures forevermore. There are pleasures forevermore at thy right hand. So the kingdom that's coming is going to be set up and established in righteousness. The Israelites are going to be changed. Thy people shall be all righteous. Not one Israelite is going to be lost, because the promise that the Most High made to Abraham was to all that seed. And the seed of the promise went from Abraham to Isaac to Jacob. Every seed that came out of Jacob is a part of the ones that are going to receive the benefits that the Most High promised to blessed Abraham.
The transfer of rulership is coming, and the kingdom of heaven will be on earth. Righteousness will be spread throughout the whole four corners of the earth. Wickedness will be put down. According to the Holy Scriptures, Yahweh Shai, the Son of the Most High, is set to bring immortality to the nation of Israel. Elect be a rule the world, ruled by Esau, Edom, and establish a righteous kingdom, which is synonymous with the throne of David. That's scriptural, which is a government that's going to run this world in righteousness.
All right. Shalom. First and foremost, I would like to give all praise and glory unto Yahweh Bahashem, Yahweh Shah Bahashem, Rakakadash, and double honors unto the apostles and the elders of GMS who rule well, teach well, being great examples to his younger brothers, and peace and blessings and salutation to the hopeful elect out there pushing his word in truth and in sincerity across the four winds. In the name of Yahweh Bashem Shai, pushing to get up out of here. Shalom to the hopeful elect, the believers, the listeners whom have came back to the obedience of the scriptures through faith in Yahweh Bashem Shai. All right, morning news and prophecy. All right, and this morning what I want to go into, which things we've been speculating in the spirit, and the Lord has brought out through the spirit of the Lord allowed me to find some information that kind of confirms things that we've been speaking on about how this AI is overrated. Okay, and we have to understand Esau Edom has limitations. Okay, we can't think of Esau as just this unlimited power on the left hand side. No, he's limited, and that's one of the things that's being exposed. All right, as we get closer to the end, as the limits, all right, the limitations of Esau Edom. Okay, economically, all right, resource wise, okay, military wise, technology wise, he limited. Okay, the Lord has allowed this man to tap in. Okay, the Lord has allowed this man to go beyond, all the heathens, okay, that came before him and ruled, okay, in every way. You see, he surpassed, all right, the empires of old, as far as technology, military, economically, all right. But what we have to understand, even with all that, there's still limitations, okay? And this devil, he always, all right, because he hypes himself up and over exaggerates his power. And he gets to believe in these things, and he gets to try to pull off things that he's not able to do. He gets to boasting in things that can't be done. All right. And he pushes, okay, the propaganda like he's pulling certain things off, and he's not. That's why he's still stuck on this moon hoax, going to the moon. He can't do that. Okay. There's just things that this devil can't do. Okay. He's limited. He's powerful. The Lord raised him up. He's powerful. Okay. He's tapped in on the left hand, and he's into enchantments, and but he's limited. All right. And we can't forget that this nigga is has limits. Okay. Because let's go look at some precepts. What this devil is trying to pull off, okay, is a technological Tower of Babel. Okay. And he thinks that through his technology, okay, he has the tools, all right, to be the Most High. Okay. With things that he's invented. Okay. With technology that he has access to. Because there's certain things that he didn't even invent, but he's in power, so he has access to whatever is invented in his kingdom. Okay, and he's able to mass produce it, and scale it out, because he has the resources and the manpower, to do so. But when you go into let's go here. When you go into what this devil is trying to do, all right, we're seeing that the Lord has this man in scrapes, which we always get into in the book of Job. Now, when you go into Genesis 11:1, it says, "And the whole earth was a one language and a one speech." And this is during the time, right, Nimrod, the Tower of Babel, okay, the ancient Babylonian Empire, or the Cushites, okay, because you had the Neo-Babylonian Empire, which was a branch of the Assyrians. Okay, that's why it's known as the Syrian Babylonian Empire. Okay, it's Genesis 11:2 says, "And it came to pass as they journeyed from the east that they found a plain in the land of Shinar, and they dwelt there. And they said one to another, Come to," it says, "Go to, let us make brick and burn them thoroughly." And they had brick for stone and slime for mortar. So they began to build infrastructure. Okay, just like Esau Edom, he's building infrastructure for a new world order. Okay, for this one world order. All right, because the people spoke one language, they was a one speech. Okay, and this devil, he's trying to do the same thing again. He wants to put people, under one order. Okay, one government, one currency. Okay, one religion is Satan. Okay, because what we understand, Nimrod, hey, he was a Satanist as well. He was anything that's pushes rebellion against the Most High, it's Satanism. Okay, so what they were trying to do back then, back here was reading Genesis 11. This is Satanism, man. Okay, it says, "And they said, Go and let us build us a city and a tower whose top may reach unto heaven, and let us make us a name, lest we be scattered abroad upon the face of the earth." So he wanted to make a name. They wanted to make a name for themselves, man. Okay, you have to understand, this is a conversation amongst the elites of this time. Okay, this is their wicked counsel back then. All right, they wanted to make a name for themselves, man. They wanted to be known for defying the Most High, for rebelling against the Most High. Okay, for pulling off a rebellion against the Most High. You see, and this is what Esau, he wants to make a name, a reputation. Okay, as being the heathens that defied the Most High. Okay, like with that Frank Sinatra song, "I Did It My Way." This was Nimrod trying to do it his way. Okay, and the elites of this time. Okay, so when you go, let's read this in the I believe it's the AMP. All right, Genesis 11:4 in the AMP. All right, this is the book of Genesis, chapter 4, verse AMP in the AMP. So like Genesis chapter 11, verse 4 in the AMP. It said, "They said, Come, let us build a city for ourselves, and a tower whose top will reach unto the heavens, and let us make a famous name for ourselves, so that we will not be scattered into separate groups and dispersed over the surface of the entire earth, as the Lord instructed." Okay, so this is direct rebellion. Okay, they speculate that that the tower, was for them to build cities high off the ground, so they wouldn't be flooded, so they can do what they want and not deal with the consequences of the Most High. Okay, you see, so they wanted to be able to live like they want, but not have to deal with the consequences of judgment from a higher power. And this is what Esau trying to attempt with this new world order, because this devil, he wants badly to have immortality, man. So he wants to keep advancing this technology, okay, to the point to where he can achieve, all right, immortality on the left hand side, man. But he's nowhere near that. Okay, a lot of these movies, and we, because we can think that this devil, which he has technology we don't know, okay, but even the technology we don't know about is limited. Okay, there's only so much this nigga can do, man. All right, there's only so much power that the Lord gave him on the left hand side. Okay, and to be able to tap into immortality, that's not his blessing. That's not for him. All right, that's for all right the chosen people, the true chosen people, man, the tribes, man. That's for us, man. Okay, it's not for this nigga, man. This nigga has restrictions and limitations, okay, on his blessing, man, that he was given, the fatness of the earth, the sword. There's limitations on that. Okay, you see, the Lord is going to open us up and put us on the level. Okay, when we're delivered, man, Lord, will we of that number, man? The Lord is going to show true power, okay, through judgment, okay, and the mercy that He's going to have, okay, on His people, and judgment on the heathen, beginning with Esau. Okay, He's going to show real power. He's going to show another level of power, man. Okay, it's going to make everything that Esau has achieved and accomplished, okay, it's going to make it look like nothing. Okay, just as Moses confounded, all right, the Lord used Moses to confound, all right, the magicians of Pharaoh. Okay, so let's keep reading. It says, verse 5, it says, and the Lord came down to see the city and tower which the children of men builded, and the Lord said, behold, the people is one, and they have all one language, and this they began to do, and now nothing will be restrained, all right, from them which they have imagined. Okay, now this doesn't mean that they'll be able to pull off anything. Okay, what is it going into, man? It's going into their wickedness, man. Okay, because Esau had, Nimrod, he was limited in what he could do. Okay, this generation, okay, they was limited. All right, but what these devils, back then, what they wanted to do, they wanted to continue on in their wickedness. There was no evil that was going to be restrained from them. Okay, just like Esau, man, he wants to try to get men pregnant, and see if Esau just left to his devices, there was no judgment, man. This nigga would create all type of just wickedness, man. Okay, a lot of things that he does fails, but there will be things that he will still be pulling off, man. It'd be some type of new form of wickedness that this devil will constantly come up with, man. Okay, there wouldn't be no, because you read in the AMP, all right, it will be no wickedness that the devil wouldn't try to attempt. You see, and Esau showing what he would do with power. He's showing what he would do as ruler, man. Okay, extremely wicked and destructive to himself and everyone else. Okay, so I think you can get this in the AMP. Okay, because they couldn't just keep building straight up. The body can only take so much at a certain altitude. You see. But let's go on. But it was the mindset behind what they were doing. Okay. So the AMP, it says, yep. This in the AMP, Genesis 11:6, it says, and the Lord said, behold, they are one unified people, and they all have the same language. This is only the beginning of what they will do in rebellion against me. Yeah, because if this devil was able to pull off this new world order, put this device in everyone and just have this thing up and going for generations, man, it would just be the beginning of the rebellion. Okay, it will be the beginning of what this devil, okay, will begin to do. Because remember, he can never be satisfied. Okay, he will try to tap into something else. You see, another level of control. It'd be another new world order. In the few generations, it'd be another new world order, and another war, and he would just go on in rebellion. You see, and it says, and now no evil thing they imagine they can do will be impossible for them. Okay, and we know this devil is all about wickedness, man, and pushing the envelope when it comes to wickedness, man. Okay, and he will do nothing but just think of wicked and evil deeds and inventions, man. Okay, and this is why he has to be confounded, just like the Lord confounded, all right, the Tower of Babel. Okay, and this is Babylon the Great. So this is wickedness and rebellion on a whole other level. All right, the scriptures describe America as being what? Mara Yatham in the Hebrew, which goes into a double rebellion. Okay, it goes into a double rebellion. So let's go back. This is Genesis 11 and 7. It says, "Go to, let us go down, and there confound their language, that they may not understand one another's speech. So the Lord scattered them abroad from thence upon the face of all the earth, and they, all right, left off to build the city." Yeah, they wasn't able to complete it. Just like Esau, he's not going to be able to complete what he's trying to pull off, man. He's going to get, to a certain point. All right. And the Lord's going to confound this man through war. He's going to allow this war, okay, to get out of control. Okay. Beyond what the devil can manage. All right. And he's going to be confounded. You see, it said, "Therefore is the name of it called Babel, because the Lord did there confound the language of the earth, and from thence the Lord scattered them abroad upon the face of all the earth," man. So the Lord's will gonna be played out, because rebellion is going to be put down. What Esau doing, okay, he's building a rebellion. Okay, this whole infrastructure, this whole New World Order infrastructure is based on pure rebellion, man. Okay, and the scripture said how this nigga will come back and build. Okay, you go to Malachi. I'm gonna get this in the NLT, Malachi 1 and 4 in the NLT. Okay, this is the book of Malachi, chapter 1 and verse 4 in the NLT. It says, "Esau, descendants of Edom may say, we have been scattered, but we will rebuild the ruins." Okay, so the descendants of Esau, okay, that's who run the earth today. The people that run the earth are the descendants of Esau. Okay, the people that ran, all right, pagan Rome. Which eventually it was the Western Roman Empire that fell. Okay. And what happened, man? These devils were allowed to come back into power during the Renaissance. Okay, and this is when Esau came into the fulfillment of his blessing, man, the fatness of the earth and the sword, when they came back during the Renaissance, man. Okay, they was able to colonize the earth through the sword. Okay, they was able to steal the resources of the earth through what? The sword, man. Because it said the sword shall not live, so he would obtain everything, all right, through that sword, man. Okay, and another form of that sword was enchantments, witchcraft. Okay, so he's prospered in wickedness, for centuries, man. Okay, and the Lord has, opened them up to this technology. Okay, and see Esau in his mind, this technology, he's going to be able to be the Most High. That's why it's even called artificial intelligence, man. We're going to look up the word artificial. What does that mean? And why you think the Lord allowed it to be called artificial, man? It's not real. It's synthetic. It's an idol. Okay? It's a big magic trick this nigga is pulling, man. We're going to show you. We got some video, Hey, we scrapped. All right? Ultimately, the precepts expose this man. Say, "But the Lord of heaven's armies replies, they may try to rebuild, but I will demolish them again. Their country will be known as the land of wickedness, and their people will be called the people with whom the Lord is forever angry." Okay, so the Lord is angry at what these devils are trying to pull off, man. Okay, this rebellion, they're rebuilding. Okay, they're rebuilding. You see, a rebellion. You see, with technology, man. Okay, but the Lord is finna demolish, man, and he's already beginning to tear this thing down. And that's why the devil know he had but a short time. Why he know he have a short time? Because everything ain't going according to plan. Okay, you have to understand the Lord is getting at Esau, man. Prophecy is getting at Esau, man. The Lord is getting at Esau through prophecy, man. Okay, Just because he's moving forward with this agenda don't mean he got it all figured out. Okay, there's a lot of scrambling. He's not weird in this council for nothing. Okay, there's certain things that you know that ain't going like he wanted to go. Okay, but just like Pharaoh was getting his ass beat to sleep. Okay, but he was hardened. Okay, Pharaoh was getting at work. You see, the power of the Lord was working against Pharaoh, but Pharaoh was still going forward in his rebellion. Okay, so Esau, he has to go forward in his rebellion because he has to get to a certain point, okay, before the Lord completely confounds this man. Okay, so let's go here. I got a couple videos I want to get. Let's go here to let's get this first one. You know, because we hear about all this, you know, AI taking this job and AI taking that job. Man, a lot of this is a fraud, man. You know, we're gonna get into the video, man. A lot of this is fraud, man. You know, the AI can do things, but the AI is limited. Okay, so let's go into it.
On March 17th, OpenAI CEO Sam Altman posted a statement on X that felt more like a eulogy for the programming profession. He spoke about how much effort it used to take to write software character by character, adding that it already feels difficult to remember that world. To the hundreds of thousands of tech workers who lost their jobs in the past few years, it didn't sound like progress, it sounded like a dismissal. But the obsolete world Altman is waving goodbye to is exactly what's missing from the industry right now. The push to automate everything is hitting a wall. Today, we're looking at why replacing humans with AI is backfiring.
2/3 of employers who cut staff to implement AI are already rehiring for those exact roles. The study found that 32% of these firms reversed their layoffs in under 6 months after realizing automation couldn't sustain the workload.
We were told AI would be the digital coworker that never sleeps. But in reality, 66% of HR teams now admit AI only replaced specific tasks, not actual people. What we're seeing now is the junior death spiral. According to the Stanford Digital Economy Lab, entry-level software hiring for workers aged 22 to 26 has dropped by 20% this year. Companies thought they could automate the easy work and skip the training, but they forgot one thing. If you don't hire juniors today, you don't have seniors in 5 years. They've effectively broken their own talent pipeline, and now they're panicking because there's no one left who actually understands the architecture. Google's CEO, Sundar Pichai, recently noted that over 25% of their new code is AI generated. At first glance, it sounds efficient. In reality, it's creating a mountain of messy code. An analysis by Cast Software shows it would take 61 billion workdays to pay off the world's current technical debt. AI doesn't write elegant code, it clones it. It lacks the context to abstract effectively, so it just appends more and more lines of plausible logic. Research shows that while AI can help you finish a task 35% faster, it makes the final product 4 times more expensive to maintain over the long term. It creates short-term wins but long-term messes. As one developer put it, we've gone from being craftsmen to factory managers at IKEA, shipping low-quality chairs that nobody knows how to fix when they break. Forrester Research warns that over-automating roles has led to costly pullbacks. Their 2026 analysis predicts that over half of the layoffs attributed to AI will be quietly reversed as firms realize the operational failure of replacing human intuition prematurely. It gets even more dangerous when AI hits the real world. The FDA has cleared over 1,300 AI-enabled medical devices as of early 2026, but the Adverse Event Reporting System is flagging a new phenomenon: impactful hallucinations. We've seen reports of AI reconstructed imaging creating false structures that don't exist in the patient's body. In one case, a surgeon accidentally punctured a patient's skull because the AI misinformed them about the exact location of their instruments. Companies are realizing that AI lacks the one thing a business requires to survive: accountability. When a human makes a mistake, they own it. They can be retrained or they can be held liable. But when an AI makes a mistake, it just makes that mistake at the speed of light, and there is no one in the machine to hold accountable. Recently, the tech world started recirculating a quote from an old 1979 IBM training manual that feels like a prophecy today. A computer can never be held accountable. Therefore, a computer must never make a management decision. We ignored that warning for 40 years. Now, experts at the NXT Conclave are warning of cognitive surrender, a state where managers stop exercising independent judgment and blindly follow a black box until the system collapses. We didn't solve the human intelligence problem, we just abandoned it. This backfiring isn't just happening at small startups, it's hitting the most prestigious firms on the planet. In late 2025, consulting giant Deloitte was forced to issue a massive refund to the Australian government after their $440,000 AI-generated report was found to be littered with fake citations and non-existent academic studies. Even the people building the AI are getting caught in their own trap. The law firm representing Anthropic, the creators of Claude, recently had to admit to a federal judge that their legal filings contained a completely fabricated citation generated by their own AI. When the world's leading AI researchers and $1,000 an hour lawyers can't prevent AI slop from leaking into their work, what hope does a mid-sized company have of replacing its entire workforce with a chatbot? If the tech is struggling, why did we see over 45,000 tech layoffs in just the first quarter of 2026? Because for many CEOs, AI is just a cover story for AI washing. Experts are now calling AI the ultimate visionary dodge, a way for executives to blame technological change for layoffs that were actually caused by their own overhiring or poor financial management. They tell investors the work is being done by sophisticated models to increase their stock price. But look at the Builder AI bankruptcy filings from late 2025. Court documents revealed this $1.5 billion company was using hundreds of human engineers in India to manually perform tasks they claimed were handled by autonomous AI. They used the AI hype to justify cutting your salary and moving your job to a different time zone, only to find out that the machine was actually just humans they were underpaying behind a digital curtain.
This nigga is the wicked, man. Okay? Just like Eliasha Wamba always go into, man. The nigga behind the curtain, man. The Wizard of Oz, man. Okay? A lot of this AI, so this nigga here it is, he fires people just to hire people overseas for a way less wage. Okay, but then he claimed that it's AI that's doing the work, but it's people overseas that's doing this work, man. Still humans, man. Okay, and then they say it would take 61 billion days at this rate for AI, all right, to make a profit. The tech, all the money that they spend on AI, the way that AI is underperforming, okay, it would take 61 billion days. That's 167 million years, man. Okay, this nigga be lying. Esau be capping, man. Okay, he don't got everything figured out. Okay, he's not weird in his counsel for nothing. His things ain't going like the devil wanted. Okay, I know you could think of the elites like they just in the palace floating like Doctor Strange and just jumping in and out of portals and doing this and doing that. They doing some things, of course. They tapped in. Okay, but the way this devil project himself, man, he don't got it like that. They do a lot of capping, man. Okay, but he'll never admit no mistake. He's gonna double down on it. He's gonna keep throwing money at this thing like he got it figured out, like he's on to something, man. And it's a lot of videos going into this, man. I'm just use two, but there's a lot of videos going into this. I'm gonna put this on there because once you start watching it, it's gonna open up, a rabbit hole of people exposing AI, man. Talking about men that's been working on AI since the 80s, talking about, look, they can't do what they say they're gonna do. It's mathematically impossible, man. Okay, it's a big magic trick, man. So let's play some more of this.
So where does this leave you? The AI industry is hitting a wall of reality. The trough of disillusionment is a $200 billion hole in corporate balance sheets. According to McKinsey, 94% of companies that dumped money into generative AI have yet to see a single dollar of measurable return. Those who thought they could prompt their way to a finished product are finding out that software and business is a lot messier than a ChatGPT demo. The winners automate their way out of quality and started reinvesting in the people who actually know how the foundation is built. The demand for someone who can just generate a block of code is dying, but the demand for a human architect, someone who can walk into a room, identify why the AI-generated logic is failing, and secure the system, is at an all-time high. We are moving past the era of blind automation and into the era of recovery. The market tried to sideline human judgment, and it failed. Now the pendulum is coming back to the people who can manage the chaos. If you have heard of these reversals happening in your industry,
Yeah, man. So this whole AI thing, the devil is really he's peeking out. And that's why the Lord is rushing this nigga. Like he been knew this, man. Okay, and the Lord is rushing this nigga, man. And it's gonna be this whole new world order thing is gonna be tacky, man. Okay, it's not gonna be no well put together. This devil, still got a few things up his sleeve, but and mainly it's gonna be a lot of violence. Because if he can't do nothing else, he can cause a lot of damage. This nigga can't do nothing else, he can cause a lot of damage, man, especially to civilians, man. So it's gonna get hectic. He's gonna do an order out of chaos. All right, and he's gonna be doing this. That's why I say he's gonna be like a madman. He's frustrated. Okay, he done hyped himself up and he hitting these ceilings, man. He's gonna be like a madman sparing none. Know that he had but a short time. He should come with great wrath, man. Nigga gonna be frustrated, wearied in his counsel. Okay, if a brother wanna get that in Jeremiah 49, verse 7 and verse 10. Jeremiah chapter 49, verse 7 and verse 10. And I'm gonna cue up this other video. All right, this one here a little longer. He gonna go in, dealing with this AI hoax, man. Okay, hype. You see, this nigga is highly overrated, man. The closer you get up on this nigga, man, the less impressed we should be, man. Because we got true power, we got true wisdom. Okay, this devil is an imposter, man. Okay, so this video I'm gonna play here. I just put in the link. Pretty good one as well, and it should send you down, the rabbit hole of looking at some things and dealing with this AI, because it's several. I just chose these two, but it's several, videos that go into this AI and how it's underperforming. Okay, and it's peaking out, and there's only so much it can do. Okay, limited. All right. So I'll play this.
We are not going to get to human level AI by just scaling up LLMs. This is just not going to happen. Okay, there's no way. Okay, absolutely no way. It's not going to happen within the next 2 years. There's absolutely no way in hell.
The productivity revolution of LLMs is a complete lie. We've been told that AI was going to make us faster, improve the quality of our life, and even create breakthroughs in science. The technology was supposed to keep improving until it created a human utopia. But the truth is, it stopped improving over a year ago, and the AI companies know this. You see, LLMs hit a ceiling in late 2024. The chinchilla scaling laws that made everyone think AGI was inevitable stopped working. More computing power no longer produces improved models. What you're seeing now is bigger marketing budgets pretending to be better technology. Now, in this video, I'm going to show you what really happens when you use these tools yourself. Not only do you get slower at your job because you're always spending time fixing mistakes instead of creating, but your brain stops doing the hard work of thinking. You've outsourced that to a machine that actually can't think. The neuroscience on this matter is clear. Regular use causes measurable cognitive decline. These systems are also dangerous. They hallucinate false information on a regular basis while sounding completely authoritative and sure of themselves. The polished expert tone completely shuts down your skepticism, so you don't verify what you're reading anymore. And that's when costly mistakes can really happen. Wrong facts, fabricated citations, and broken logic delivered with total confidence. Now, here's why they can't improve anymore. LLMs are trained on data scraped from the internet. That's how they got better with scaling. But the thing is, they ran out of data at this point. They've already fed everything on the internet into these models. And now AI-generated content is starting to flood the internet. So when they train the next generation of these LLMs, they're being trained on their own slop, which slowly starts degrading the power of these LLMs. It's a vicious cycle, and each generation is going to keep getting worse, not better. And that's not my opinion. In this video,
So it's starting to go backwards. Okay, he don't put all the data, okay, that he can, all right, in the in these platforms. Okay. So now as you have all this computer generated data, okay, now you have all this AI. All right, so AI is beginning to train itself, but the AI is flawed. So it's training itself on flawed, okay, it's training itself on the on flawed data now. Okay, because it's to consume all the data that it can scrape off the internet. So now you have all this AI generated data that's going onto the internet. Now it's starting to learn from that. But the AI is full of flaws. So it's learning a lot of flaws, man. Okay. So let's go here. I know the brother got some. Let's get that to Isaiah. I think it's Isaiah 44, verses 24 and 25. All right. Let's get these two, and then we'll go back to the video, man. So the Lord got this nigga going backwards, see? And this nigga know he got like shit, he gotta pull this off, man. The pressure on Esau. Esau under some pressure, man. He's not comfortably chilling, like, like, damn, my shit going like no, man, this nigga is being pressured, man. Okay? This is Jeremiah 49:7 says, concerning Edom, thus said the Lord of hosts, is wisdom no more in Teman? Is counsel perished from the prudent? Is their wisdom vanished? Yeah, what? Because he peeking out. The AI was supposed to be the thing that took him over the top, man. And he done peaked out already, man. And it's beginning to go backwards now. Now these models are going backwards because they're training what they call AI slop. Because the AI, it hallucinates. And see, that's the spirit of Esau. Matter of fact, let's go into this word hallucination real quick. Let's get this word hallucination, man. Okay. See, the Lord gave this devil, all right, wisdom on the left hand and let them tap in to particular things. But there's a cutoff point, man. Okay. So you go into hallucinations, because you go through it all the time. All right. Deal with chat, to just give you something and be off. It says AI hallucinations are confident, grammatically correct, yet completely false or none, all right, sensual responses generated by AI models. And who talks like that? Who, when they go give a report, okay, who does that? Be wrong as hell, be lying, but they sound confident and grammatically correct. Esau. Okay, Dr. Fauci, Bill Gates, they sound grammatically correct, confident, okay. Pete Hegseth about the war, they sound confident, grammatically correct, but they off. The AI do that, okay? And it says AI hallucinations are confident, grammatically correct. Yes, false, completely false or none, all right, sensical responses generated by AI models. These occur when models, especially LLM, which is LLM stands for Learning Language Model, okay, prior towards pattern prediction over factual accuracy, all right, or fill knowledge gaps with incorrect information, hallucinations are inherently part of generative AI. So now you have AI training itself and you have these hallucinations. Okay. So now AI is going backwards. Okay, that's why you see Chat GPT, it don't hit like it used to, man. Okay, because it's beginning to train itself off its own output. Okay, you see, it says hallucinations are inherently part of generative AI, making them appear plausible while fabricating facts, sources, or data. Okay, so this double technology is flawed, man. Even the things that the technology we haven't seen, that shit flawed. Only so much it can go. Okay, this devil not all powerful and all knowing, man. The Most High prop this nigga up, let this nigga do his thing. But now we finna pack them man. Pack these Edomites up, man. Okay, it's over. You see, this nigga got a few cards left to play in his hand. Okay, the collapse of the economy, the enforcement of the MOTB, and the Most High gonna pack this nigga up, man. Get these niggas out of here, man. Okay, trash. So let's go back to the video. You see?
To you, showing studies that this is happening right now as we speak. Now, companies have staked trillions of dollars on a technology that's already failed. Their stock price assumes a future that the math says is impossible. When investors figure out what you're about to see in this video, which is backed by actual hard data, the financial destruction will dwarf both the dot-com crash and the 2008 crisis combined. Okay, now first I want to talk about the biggest lie in the LLM marketing playbook, and that's that these tools are making you more productive. Now, every tech company selling LLMs has basically the same pitch. Use our technology and you'll code faster, you'll write better, and you'll finish in hours what used to take days. The productivity revolution has arrived. Except that's not true at all. You see, in July 2025, METR, which is a nonprofit research organization dedicated to evaluating AI capabilities, ran a breakthrough study. It was a randomized control trial with 16 experienced software engineers. These were people with an average of 5 years of experience working on their own projects that had millions of lines of code. And these people also had experience using LLMs in the past. This was a blind study where researchers measured actual completion times for real coding tasks. Now, before the study started, developers predicted that AI would make them approximately 24% faster. But after they were finished, they estimated that AI had made them about 20% faster. Okay, now brace yourself for the actual results. They were 19% slower with AI than without it. Think about that gap. They thought they were 20% faster, but they were actually 19% slower. That's a 39-point swing between perception and reality. The AI had created such a strong illusion of productivity that even experienced professionals could not tell that they were moving slower. Let me explain why. When you use AI to write code, or anything for that matter, you get instant outputs, and that feels like progress. Your brain registers the speed of the generation as extreme productivity. But what you're not accounting for is everything that comes after. The AI hallucinates functions that don't exist in your code base and generates solutions that look right but break under real conditions. You spend a lot of time debugging, verifying, and fixing subtle errors that are hard to find, and it would have been a lot faster if you had just written the code yourself from the start. Now, let's zoom out and take a look at how this plays out across the entire economy. McKinsey surveyed thousands of companies in their 2025 AI adoption report. Despite 88% of organizations claiming they use AI, only 6% are actually seeing any value from it. The rest burned millions of dollars implementing tools that delivered nothing. 2/3 of companies are still stuck running experiments and pilot programs because they just can't get the AI to work reliably. Then there's the Uplevel data study from September 2024. They tracked 800 developers over 3 months, comparing teams using GitHub Copilot against teams working without it. And they measured the quality of the code and how fast the work got completed. Developers using Copilot introduced 41% more bugs into their code than the developers working manually, with no improvement in how fast code got finished or how much they produced. The only measurable change was more errors that needed to be fixed later. This is a pattern. AI does not make you faster. It creates more work, and it's disguised as productivity. You feel productive because you're typing less, but the actual time from start to finish gets longer and the quality degrades. You don't even realize it's happening because the tool has convinced you that the instant output equals progress. The productivity revolution is a marketing campaign built on a fundamental misunderstanding of what productivity actually means. AI doesn't just fail to deliver on its promises, it does something even worse. It actually damages the people using it, and most of you don't even know it's happening. Okay, so we know that AI is making you slower at work. But what if I told you that it was also rewiring your brain, and the damage gets worse the more you use it? MIT's Media Lab tracked 54 college students over 4 months as they wrote essays. They split participants into 3 groups. One used ChatGPT, one used Google for research, and one worked with no help at all, old school in the library. Every participant wore an EEG headset monitoring brain activity while they worked. Now, the ChatGPT group showed the weakest neural connectivity of all 3 groups. Researchers measured reduced activity in the prefrontal cortex. That's the part of your brain responsible for critical thinking and decision making. Now, when you outsource thinking to the AI, that region begins to slowly shut down. After 4 months, researchers told the ChatGPT group to write without AI assistance, and their brains did not recover. They still showed weak connectivity compared to the other groups. 83% could not recall key points from the essays they'd written themselves. When asked to quote from their own work, none of the students in this group could do it accurately because their brains had no connection to the work they'd created. Now, this study calls this cognitive debt. Every time you use AI to think for you, you're borrowing against your future ability to think. The neural pathways that handle complex reasoning atrophy from disuse. Now, there's another problem that makes this even worse in professional and personal life. The LLM responses sound like they come from an expert, and that tricks your brain into trusting them without checking if it's a hallucination or not. And as we know, these models hallucinate on a regular basis. Harvard and MIT published research in 2025 showing that people trust AI based on how confident and professional it sounds, not based on whether it's accurate or not. The smooth, polished writing style makes your brain think the information is reliable. When AI writes with authority, you just stop questioning it. Now, another study found that AI models write in a confident and authoritative tone, even when they are completely wrong. That tone makes it hard for you to tell the difference between true information and false information. Your brain sees professional language and assumes it must be correct as if it's coming from an expert. This causes real damage. You ask for health information, you get back something that reads like a medical textbook. So you don't double check it because it looks so legit. But the facts are wrong and the sources are possibly made up. This advice could actually hurt you, but you may already have trusted it because it sounded so smart. The same thing can happen with financial decisions, legal questions, or technical problems. AI gives you hallucinated garbage wrapped up in expert language, and it's hard to tell it's garbage because the presentation looks so professional. This creates a vicious cycle. You use AI for simple tasks and your skill set begins to degrade. You start needing AI for things you used to do yourself. And as time goes on, you even lose the ability to check if AI is right or wrong. This leads to you trusting bad information, making lots of mistakes, and then relying on AI even more to fix the problems it created in the first place. The damage isn't just slower work or weaker thinking, it's complete dependence on a system that can't think, combined with losing the ability to tell when that system is lying to you. Okay, now I want to talk about why LLMs can't actually get any better from here. The improvements hadn't out of solid training data. LLMs learn by reading massive amounts of text that they gather from the internet. The more quality data you feed them, the better they get. And that's how we went from GPT-2 to GPT-3 to GPT-4, and we saw large improvements with each model. Each version was trained on more data, and thus they got smarter. Now, Epic AI published a study in 2024 showing that we've exhausted all the high-quality text that exists. Every digitized book, every scientific paper, every Wikipedia article, every well-written piece of content online has already been scraped and used. There's nothing left to train these models with. So the companies came up with an innovative solution, or so they thought. So what they did was they started training new models on AI-generated content instead. They started feeding LLMs text written by other LLMs. And this causes something called model collapse. A Nature study from 2024 documented what happens when you do this. Quality degrades by 8 to 12% with each generation. It's like making a photocopy of a photocopy where each version just gets blurrier and blurrier. We're already 2 or 3 generations deep into this, and the internet has now become up to 60% AI-generated content. Every new model trains on that polluted data and actually gets worse instead of getting better. Okay, next I want to talk about how the scaling laws stopped working. So for years, AI companies were following something called the chinchilla scaling laws. The principle was very simple. As long as you doubled your computing power, you would get a model that was roughly double in capability. That's why we've been building all these data centers filled with more and more GPUs. However, from 2020 to 2023, the trend held that doubling the compute actually did give you double the results. But in 2024, that trend broke completely. Now what you can see is when you double the compute, you may get approximately 5 to 8% improvement, but you're spending twice the money for an extremely diminished return. OpenAI discovered this with their latest model codenamed Orion. Leaked documents from December 2025 showed that they had used 10 times the compute of their previous model, and the result was barely any improvement on benchmarks. In fact, it actually had worse performance on complex reasoning tasks, and the internal memo said it plainly. Scaling alone is insufficient. Companies tried hiding this by cheating on tests. They would overtrain models specifically on benchmark questions, so the scores looked good. GPT-4 can score a 95% on the GSM-8K, which is a standard math test. But if you give it a novel math problem it hasn't seen before, even on a high school level, it fails to solve the problem. It doesn't possess logic. It is simply memorizing the answers. Now, thirdly, and this may be the most important part, LLMs cannot reason. They can never reach AGI because of how they fundamentally work. LLMs are prediction models. They predict the next word based on patterns from their training data. They don't understand what they're saying. They have no model of how the world works, and they don't grasp cause and effect. When you ask a question, the LLM does not think about the answer. What it's doing is it's simply generating words that statistically look like answers to similar questions it saw during training. Reasoning requires building mental models, testing ideas, and understanding truth versus fiction. And LLMs cannot do any of that. They pattern match, and that's it. Yan Lee Kuhn, who runs AI research over at Meta, put it this way. Autoregressive LLMs are an off-ramp, not the highway to AGI. Now, what he meant by that is that this technology is a dead end. You can't get to general intelligence by predicting words. You need a system that actually understands what it's talking about, and LLMs quite simply do not. The companies building these systems right now know this. The researchers know this, but they've raised billions of dollars promising AGI is coming soon, so they keep pretending the technology just needs more time. The fact is, it doesn't. It needs a completely different approach that no one's figured out yet. LLMs have peaked.
He's not gonna figure it out. All right, and the devil being confounded. You know, it's about 7 more minutes, but 5 more minutes left on that video. You know, you can watch it, but yeah, let's get to some precepts. Like I say, if a brother can post it also in Isaiah, I think 44, in verse 24. Okay, so let's go here. This is a brother, Lord willing, hopeful, elect. He said this Jeremiah 49:10 said, but I have made Esau bare, I have uncovered his secret places. Okay, he shall not be able to hide himself. His seed is spoiled, and his brethren and his neighbors, and he is not. So the Lord is making this bare, man, making Esau bare. Okay, he's stripping them down of everything, man. See, the things that Esau used to be able to do, you know, they had him so far ahead of everyone. Now he's peeking out. Okay, he's peeking out, man. And the Lord is stripping this man, all right, of wisdom. Okay, the tools that he was able to use, the technology and the systems and, you know, the schemes and the enchantments, he's being stripped down, man. Okay, now this devil, you know, the masses are going to bend the knee. Okay, because they don't have any hope. This is all they know is this devil and his promises, man. Okay, so the masses are still going to be fooled and bend the knee, you know. But for us, man, we should begin to look at this nigga like nothing, man. Okay, this man is highly overrated, man. Now to the masses, he's still going to be able to pull off, you know, because he's going to create this desperation. Because he's desperate, you know, so he's going to get ready to create desperation for the masses because he's still able to do a lot of damage. Okay, he still got weaponry that he's going to bring out, man. Is going to, you know, bring people to their knees, man. Okay, because these people are going to be subjugated to Esau and his enchantments, man. You know, but the man, the Lord is raising us up, man. Hey, to look at this nigga like nothing, man. Okay. Let's go here. The brother got this. This brother Yashima, tribe of Judah. 1 Corinthians 3:19 said, for the wisdom of this world is foolishness with the Most High. This is foolishness, man. And this man hyped AI up so much, man. Especially that nigga Yuval Noah Harari. Okay, which he was talking about, you know, AI is gonna be so more far advanced, and this nigga AI is going backwards, man. Okay, and AI runs off human input. If you remove human input from AI, it will do nothing. It will be a dumb idol. Okay, you did all this to hype AI up to make the robots, but guess what? It's still a dumb idol, just like those dumb idols of old, man. Okay, it's dumb. It doesn't. It's not really learning. Okay, it's just remembering patterns. You see? It's just remembering patterns, man. Okay, and the ability for it to learn. A lot of that technology and mathematics come from Jake. We're gonna show you. And see, this also because see, I keep bringing up these Jake techs and engineers that make this AI possible and certain things possible because Esau pushes that scientific racism. Okay, like he's so superior in his AI. I mean, high IQ. Man, this nigga don't got it, man. He just had access to all the technology of the earth, man. But he don't come up with a lot of these things that he's using, man. You know, there's a lot of things that this devil don't come up with, but he's in power, so he has access to it, and he's able to invest and put the research and development within it, you know, to get it to this, you know, this what you call it, he's able to scale it out on a high level, man. You know, the Lord gave this nigga some, you know, some left hand wickedness, and you know, he's been able to, like I said, he's been able to go beyond all the heathens, man. Okay, but it's still a limitation. You see, he still got to deal with limitations, man. Okay, it says back in 1 Corinthians 3:19 said, for the wisdom of this world is foolishness with the Most High, for it is written, he taketh the wise in their own craftiness. Yeah, they're being taken in their own craftiness, man. Because the AI is beginning to train itself on its own output and it's going backwards, man. Okay? Just like with this devil militarily, man. He the one that he's always arming all these different groups and causing civil war in all these nations, man. He's teaching Esau done taught these nations how to defeat him in war. Because he's always at war with every goddamn body, man. So he's done taught these nations how to defeat him in war. You see? So this man is being taken in his own craftiness and everything, man. Okay, let's go here. And let's get brother got verse 25. This is brother Yashima tribe of Judah, Isaiah 44 and 24 said, thus said the Lord thy Redeemer, and he that formed thee from the womb. I am the Lord that maketh all things that stretcheth forth the heavens, okay, forth the heavens alone, and spread abroad the earth by myself. Okay, and Esau Edom, he thinks that with his technology, he can recreate everything. He can redo anything. He can do Genesis 2.0. Okay, he's nowhere near that, man. Okay, he's nowhere near how he projects himself to be with this technology, man. Okay, it's a damn fraud. Verse 45. He's not equal with the Most High. He's not even in the same arena with the Most High, man. Okay, because he pushed it like he just one, breakthrough away from, being like the Most High, man. He just got one or two things he got to tweak and he gonna be equal with the Most High. No, man, he's far from it, man. Goddamn clown at best. Isaiah 44:25, it says, thus said the Lord thy Redeemer, and he that formed thee from the womb. I am the I want to get to verse 25. Yeah, here we go. Verse 25, it says, now this the point. It said that frustrated the token of the liars. Esau's a liar, man. He be lying. Okay? Acting like AI is replacing all these jobs, man. And he outsourcing those jobs to people overseas, man. Okay? This nigga be lying, man. He lie about every goddamn thing. Okay? I say, of course, he's powerful. The Lord has made this man powerful. Okay? But Esau over-exaggerates with everything, man. Okay? And it says, and make it diviners mad that turneth wise men backward. Okay? This is prophecy. This is the scriptures explaining exactly what the Lord is doing to this man. Okay? The liars are being frustrated. The diviners are being made mad. That turneth the wise men backwards and make it their knowledge foolish, man. Okay, and what this devil is trying to pull off is foolish, man. And we should be, our faith, okay, should be increased as we see what the Lord is doing to this man and how foolish this man is looking, man. But only the elect can see the foolishness in this nigga, man. Everyone else still gonna be in awe of this nigga, man. Okay, his enchantments, his lies, man. But the Lord has given us the eyesight to see through this nigga, man. Okay, so let's go from here. I want to get this real quick because even when you go into, all right, the engineers, all right, the techs and engineers, okay. So I just went into it real quick. I said the black techs and engineers that enable AI to work. It said black technologists and engineers have been foundational to the development of AI, spanning from early foundational mathematics to modern ethical AI and robotics. Key figures include Dr. David Blackwell, who developed essential probability theories enabling, all right, machine learning. So it was Jake that came up with, okay, the technology, okay, and the mathematics to enable machine learning, okay? And all we hear about is Larry Ellison and Sam Altman and Elon, and them niggas ain't come up with the goddamn thing, man. Okay? Elon can't explain how AI work, man. Okay? Nigga just a logo, a character, man. Okay, it says, and Dr. Ayana Howard, even certain Israelite women. Okay, it says a leader in AI robotics, modern AI ethics and development are shaped by experts like Dr. All right, Timnit, all right, Gibra. All right, these are all Jakes. All right, and when you keep going down, all right, Dr. Mark E. Dean, an IBM engineer who co-invented the color PC monitor and the gigahertz chips, enabling the computing necessary for advanced software. Man, that computing power is why you get such a fast answer. Okay, that's why you need those big data centers to, all right, generate these fast answers, man. Okay, it says Clarence Skip Ellis, okay, Skip, the first black person to earn a PhD in computer science. He helped develop the ILIAC, all right, 5 supercomputer and pioneered technology used in collaborative, okay, software, man. Like Palantir is able to, combine all these different platforms, and scrape information, and come out, all right, with solutions. Okay, it said Ray Clark Sr., Roy Clark Sr., known as the Godfather of Silicon Valley. He wrote the software for HP's first computer and helped advance computer hardware technology, man. Okay, Jake played a major part. Then you have it said these innovators, along with others like Gladys West, which was an Israelite woman. Okay, and I think she recently died, like she was in her 90s. All right, GPS mapping. Okay, she came up with the math. Okay, that mapped the Earth, the circumference of the Earth, to enable GPS mapping. Okay, you see, because it was her that was able. Because this is how the machine knows where it's at. Okay, through the mathematics that she came up with. Okay, and then how did they launch those satellites? Was you go here? When you watch that movie Hidden Figures, is loosely based on the Katherine Johnson. Okay, this is her right here in the right corner. All right, Katherine Johnson. All right, and she recently died not too long ago. It's been a little time back. Okay, but she the one that came up with the mathematics to get the satellites in orbit, and then you had Dr. Gladys West. She came up with GPS mapping so the satellite knows where it's at. Okay, the machine knows where it's at. You see, but there was a lot of Jake, men and women, behind this technology, man. Okay, and this devil just boasting, like he got it all figured out, man. This nigga a fraud, man. Okay, he saw a fraud, man. The Lord propped this nigga up in power, and the Lord is stripping this nigga, man. Okay, so, oh yeah, let's go here real quick. Let's get this in the book of Exodus. All right. You know what? Esau, he just finna wild out with the sword, man. I said all right, he can do a lot of damage. I said he's powerful, but he always over exaggerates, man. Okay. He always goes beyond, he always attempting to go beyond his limitations, man. Because he get to believe in his own hype. Okay. That's why he's man finna do epic failure, man. And he's gonna do some damage on the way out. This Third World War, okay, and Jacob's trouble, civil unrest, okay. And the devil, he's just gonna have to bring out all stops, man. The Most High is really, putting a timer on this nigga, man, to where he know he got to come with it. Okay, but let's go here real quick to Exodus. Let's get this account. All right, so just as the Most High showed the limitations with Pharaoh and his all right, magicians, well, he's doing the same thing with modern day Pharaoh Esau. Okay, and his musicians, man. Let me get to the point. this is Exodus 8 and starting at 16. It says, and the Lord Yahweh Bashim Shah said unto Moses, say unto Aaron, stretch out thy rod and smite the dust of the land, that it may become light throughout all right, the land of Egypt. And they did so, for Aaron stretched out his hand with his rod and smote the dust of the earth, and it became lice in man and in beast. All the dust of the land became lice throughout all the land of Egypt. So the Lord turned dust into living creatures, man. Okay. Just as like even going back to Adam. Adam was formed from the dust. Okay. Men, so it says Exodus 8:18, it says, and the magicians did so with their enchantments to bring forth lice, but they could not. So there were lice upon man and upon beast. So the magicians of Pharaoh, they couldn't do it. They couldn't duplicate this, man. Then the magician said unto Pharaoh, this is the finger of the Most High. And the Pharaoh heart was hardened, and he hearkened not unto them, as the Lord Yahweh Bashim Shah had said. So even though Pharaoh had reached his limitation, the magicians of Pharaoh reached their limitations, man. Pharaoh was still hard. Esau was still hard. And the magicians told Pharaoh, look, this is the finger of the Most High. We can't do this. Okay, this is something else. Okay, and what we're going to see, the Lord finish keep showing Esau that he's limited, and while he's showing Esau true power. Okay, the fact that these devils got to do, okay, exactly according to prophecy, man. Even though the Lord is broadcasting his prophecies 24/7, these devils, they can't, all right, change course. That's power. The Lord is showing these devils, you're going to do this, this, and this. Okay, and this going to be the results. Esau can't change that. Okay, the AI probabilities and all that's limited, man. You see? So let's go here. Just look this up real quick. So I just asked it. Okay. I said the miracles that the Egyptians magicians couldn't duplicate. It says the Egyptian magicians failed to duplicate the plague of gnats or lice, the third plague, marking the point where they admitted defeat and recognized the finger of the Most High. They could not produce life from dust, a creative act beyond their occult powers, and were subsequently, all right, unable to reverse plagues, okay, or cure boils. Okay, just like Esau can't reverse the blessing because he's trying to bless himself. He's trying to give himself the blessing from Genesis through technology, man. Okay, he can't reverse that. That's why even what Isaac told Esau, he shall surely be blessed. He can't reverse that, man. Okay, he can't give himself the birthright. He doesn't have that power. He doesn't have that jurisdiction or authority, man. Okay, it says key limitations and failed miracles. It says the magicians attempted to produce gnats from dust using their secret arts but failed. It's noted in Exodus 8:18 and 19. It says creating life. It says while they perhaps use illusions or tricks to turn staffs into snakes and make frogs appear, they could not create life, all right, from inanimate dust. And Esau can't do that. He can't create intelligence out of nothing, man. He can't do that. Okay, this nigga been lying. AGI is pretty much him saying, I can make intelligence out of nothing. No, you can't. Okay, and the Lord is showing you that you're limited, man. Okay, not only that, you're going backwards. It says reverse and play. The magicians cannot mimic turning. Oh, it said the magicians could mimic the turning of water to blood, but they could not reverse it, nor could they remove the frogs or fix the infestation. All right, it says by the time of the boils, the magicians were so severely affected that they could not even stand before Moses, let alone mimic the plagues. Man, they were broken down. So now they couldn't even stand before Moses because they was suffering from the boils, man. Okay. So this man is finished, man. Matter of fact, let's get this account in Wisdom of Solomon, man. So Esau not gonna be able he's not gonna be able to keep up with prophecy, man. Eventually this man is gonna be confounded and overwhelmed. Okay, he gonna have to tap out. You see? Because by the time they got to the boys, the magicians of Pharaoh, they had to tap out, man. Okay. Now this is Wisdom of Solomon 17:1. It said, "For great are thy judgment and cannot be expressed. Therefore, unnurtured souls have erred. For when unrighteous men thought to oppress the holy nation, they being shut up in their houses, the prisoners of darkness and fettered with bonds of a long night, laid their exile from the eternal providence," man. This goes into the plague of darkness, man. Okay. It says, "For while they suppose," because see, Pharaoh was supposed to be the son. I mean, he's supposed to be the son of the sun god Amun-Ra. Okay, and Pharaoh will go to the river every morning before the sunrise, and they say the sun, it was Pharaoh that was making the sun rise every morning. Okay, a hoax, a fraud. Okay, so what did the Most High do? He sent the plague of darkness and said, "Now go make the sun come up, nigga." Okay, couldn't do it. All right. It said, "For they was in prisons in their own houses, man. For while they supposed to lie hid in their secret sins, they were scattered under a dark veil of forgetfulness, being horribly astonished and troubled with strange apparition." Man, the Lord was plaguing their demons, strange apparition, of telling what they were seeing, man. But he was terrorizing these Egyptians, man. Okay. "For neither might the corner that held them keep them from fear, but noises as the waters falling down sounded about them, and sad visions appeared unto them with heavy countenance," man. So they were seeing some horrific things, man, hearing things. Esau thinks he's the king of psychological warfare, man. Nah, the Most High gonna show him psychological warfare. Okay, the Most High gonna show Esau psychological warfare on a whole nother level, man. Okay, it said, "No power of the fire might give them light, neither could the bright flames of the stars endure to lighten their horrible night. Only there appeared unto them a fire kindled of itself, very dreadful. For being much terrified, they thought the things which they saw to be worse than the sight they saw not. As for the illusions of art magic, they were put down, and their vaunting or bragging or boasting in wisdom was reproved with disgrace," man. And the Lord's gonna do the same thing with Esau. Esau is gonna get embarrassed on his way out, man. Esau not going out in glory. He's gonna be embarrassed, man. Okay, the Lord's gonna embarrass this man with all this bragging and boasting, and this and that, 2030 and AGI and AI super intelligence, and humans gonna have to catch up. Okay, the Lord's gonna embarrass this man. All this pompous talk, man. Okay, Esau finna lose in every way that you can lose, man. It says, "For they that promised to drive away terrors and troubles from a sick soul were sick themselves of fear, worthy to be laughed at," man. Okay, worthy to be laughed at. Okay, so now, man, this devil, okay, is being exposed, man. A lot of this stuff is hype. Okay, and then AI is being found to be a dumb idol, man. Okay, so we'll leave it there. Lord will, you brothers, all right, and you sisters edified. All right, once again, we'll give all praise, honor, and glory unto Yahweh Bahashem, Yahweh Shah Bahashem, Kakadash, and double honors unto the apostles and the elders of GMS who rule well, teach well, being great examples to his younger brothers. And peace and blessings, salutations, and hope for that. Shalom.